one that can really change somebody's life, or an example or a habit that's really changed my life. Journaling for sure. And when I say journaling, 3 things you're grateful for, and then definitively what you want to accomplish written down on a regular basis. But bigger than that, what I do is I have this thing. It was stolen straight from Tony Robbins, to be clear. His language is different, but I just took his and made it better for me. But I'll go for a walk. And what I say to myself is I now command my subconscious mind to direct me to, and then I enter my goal. So let's say I want to make $1 million a year. Everybody tells us, right, Christine, that they want to make $1 million a year, but then we say, how much is that per month? And then they couldn't tell us, right? And I can tell you, if you can't tell me how much it is per month, your chances of achieving it are like close to zero, right? So it's $83,333.33 per month. So their goal is to make $1 million, and we established that that's legitimate, which it's normally not, but it is legitimate. What they would do is they would go for a walk if they took my habit and wanted to use it, and they would say this to themselves: I now command my subconscious mind to direct me to do whatever it takes to make $83,333.33 per month starting now. And the starting now is critical, because I could make $83,333 a month, but I could do it in 10 years, I could do it in 100 years, I could do it in 5 years, next year. I got to do it now. So the starting now is critical. So I now command my subconscious mind to direct me to do whatever it takes to make $83,333.33, a recurring revenue per month starting now. And that right there. So I go for a walk, and you're going to want to go like where I live. I've got a trail that I can go, and nobody can hear me and nobody can see me, so I don't feel like an idiot. I'll do it in my car as well when I'm driving. But that right there has been incredible for me. And I can tell you that every one of the goals that I have set, and I have done properly, and I've got better at it over time, I have accomplished. So I don't know. Those are some habits, but I believe that bigger picture will make the habit so easy for anybody listening.
No doubt. And one of the things that is so remarkable about you and your partners and your organization is just how you guys never sit on your laurels. I know you could have a comfortable life for the rest of your life and not ever innovate anything. And you're constantly working, you're constantly bringing more value to the coaches in your programs and in your team. And, what is that drives you to keep doing that? And, having the goal, it's got to be inclusive somehow. Out of that subconscious desire and that want that you have, you're constantly innovating. It's not because you set out to say, I'm going to build the world's greatest digital marketing 100%. Software, right?
That's it. So, because I'll tell you, I totally high five, and we've both been doing business coaching very successfully for a long time. You've taught me a lot, Christine. Again, I want to make sure everybody listeing, I got to honor that, because that's very important.
Wow, that's huge.
Some of our conversations have been great. But I just say that's okay. So, because they set the goal. So then it's like, okay, well, hey, because remember, a real mentor is somebody can tell you what not to do, right? Any dickhead can get on the phone and tell you, oh, do this, do that, do this, do that. Like, why do business coaches why do business owners fail? If like you're out there, Christine, and I'm out there, and we've got the software, why do 90% fail, right? And there's Tony Robbins, and there's Dan Kennedy, and there's Jay Abraham, and all these gurus. Why do 90% still fail? My opinion is that it's so much littered in addition, and it needs to be in subtraction, right? So as you too well know, like when we're coaching somebody at a really high level, we got to be able to show them what not to do, right? So here's an example. The business owner that wants to hit $1 million, and he really wants to hit $1 million, and he is committed to it, and he will do the work, and he will follow your advice, and he will achieve, move towards mastery. What goes wrong? Because you could make $1 million in gross revenue and lose 80 grand. So you got your goal and you freaking lost 80 grand. Or you could do $1 million and make $40,000 of profit. When you understand small business, you don't need to understand business well to know that those are razor thin margins, and this is not a good thing, right? If you do $1 million in gross revenues and you make 40 grand, you are one mishap from disaster, right? This is a bad business. So instead of trying to hit $1 million and not establishing, because that's I don't know that it's a bad goal, but it's a misguided one where wouldn't you be better to have a $500,000 company that was easier to run, less staff, less, products, less services, less moving parts, and have 50% margins, so you made 250 grand. Like, wouldn't that be a better plan, to make 250 grand net, right? Like, so anyway, so just making sure that everybody knows that, like, you've got to be able to go on the side of what could go wrong, right? So the old, what am I thinking of? Tim Ferriss, I can't think of, like, Bill Belichick is a famous one of these. I can't think of the word for some reason, but Bill Belichick is thinking more about, that's the coach of the New England Patriots and the, what would have to be the, the greatest football coach of all time, or certainly one of the top of all time. He thinks more about what could go wrong than what could go right when he's building up his plans. So when you're creating that goal, and I now command my subconscious mind to direct me to do, and then enter the goal, I want you to also not just think about the goal, but then reverse engineer it and think, what could go wrong and stop me from achieving that? And that would be a really powerful undertaking for the average person that's listening and looking to crush it in business, my opinion.
Well, I think it's one of the reasons that would get me out of bed when it's a cold winter morning and it's, 6 o'clock and I don't want to go do any of those things that are on my habitual list. Right?
That's it. The bigger picture will pull you. And that's the same with our software. Like you said, we could rest on our laurels, and we've by all accounts we built a world-class software, but it's not even like mastery dictates that it will never be done, and it will never be done. I'm not like achieving an end goal. Mastery dictates that we're just going to continue to innovate, adjust it, and whatever that takes, and the number of people, software engineers and whatnot we need working on it, that's what we're going to do. So it's the bigger picture.
And, this is not hyperbole, everyone. This is for real. I have taken this software out into the marketplace myself and introduced it to hundreds who see it, hear it, watch it, play with it, and they are dazzled by how robust it is. And, we're talking over the last few years, it's constantly changing. So anyway, you've given us so much value. I can talk for hours, but please let us know how we can find you and give us one takeaway.
Okay. If you want to find me, easy got to find. You could just Google my name and I'll be out there somewhere. Focused.com would be the place I would go. But one takeaway. Okay. Yes, here's the take. We didn't really talk about this, okay, but forgive me. It's going to take a couple minutes, I think, but I really don't. Okay, why do business owners fail, right? It's the 4-hour work week. I love Tim Ferriss. Guy's a genius, but he has never, if you want to build a company, Tim Ferriss is not your guy. He's never built a company. If you want to build a kick-ass podcast, Tim Ferriss, follow everything he does. But if you want to build a company, he hasn't built a company. So people trying to build companies are following what I call influencers. And frankly, if you look at the influencers, you're going to find some people that haven't really built a company, right? Jeff Bezos isn't out there influencing and tweeting and talking about Trump and Biden and the election or whatever he could otherwise be talking about to get some extra attention. You can't even interview the guy. You can't get a hold of him. Why? He's building a freaking business, right? So, and anybody interested in that topic, read a book called The Outsiders, and it's freaking amazing. It'll explain that, like Jack, when people think of the greatest CEOs of all time, normally Jack Welch will make the list. Well, do the numbers, and the book explains this far better than I ever could. But you'll see that Jack Welch, by the data, because the data matters, is all that matters in a lot of ways. Actually, no, take that back. But you got to follow the data. The numbers say that Jack Welch wasn't all that good. But he was a promoter on freaking steroids, and there was no camera, no microphone he didn't want to get behind, right? So stop getting taken by all these memes. Like another one, I wrote about this in my daily email. It's that you'll never get criticized by somebody doing more than you. Okay, God, I saw that thing. I saw it shared, I don't even know, thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of times. I've been criticized horrifically by people that are doing amazing things, right? And no doubt I'm not innocent, right? I'm sure I've criticized somebody unfairly, fairly. Doesn't matter that I'm doing more than. It's just stupid. It's just stupid, right? Like, but the genesis of it is like okay because it's motivating. But like if you're in a hurricane, you'll grab any tree, right? So what I mean by that is when you understand what you want, Kobe Bryant 101, you'll be significantly less likely to fall for, the 4-hour work week. Okay, great book. I love Tim Ferriss. I want to make sure I say that, right? He's just not a guy that I'm going to follow on how to build a business. And also the 4-hour work week, people buy the book, read the cover. They don't read the book, and they think that it's about working for 4 hours and crushing it. Read the book. It's not what it's about. It's about getting 40 hours of work done in 4 hours and having a great lifestyle, right? But it is not about only working 4 hours a week, far from. But on a subconscious level, we hear that, and then that becomes the goal for the business owner, that they think they're successful once they stop working. And if they've been listening to us here, Christine, and back and forth, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sitting here, I'm not trying to work out how I can work less today. I'm sitting here working out how I can work more efficiently, for sure. But I'm also coming up with new projects and like working hard. Like, I've never worked harder than I have in the last, during the pandemic, for sure. I've never worked this hard in my life. The end. And for various different reasons, which are relevant here, but that's just the reality. I don't need to. I'm doing it because I got a greater purpose. So what am I getting at? The thing that I want them to take away when you read the 4-hour work week, go with your gut, right? Gut stands for gave up thinking. Stop it, right? Your gut sucks, right? Like if you played football and you went with your gut, you'd go for it on 4th and 1 every single time. Do what you love and make lots of money. That's like eat what you love, brownies, cupcakes, and chocolate cake, and lose lots of weight. It's just pathetic.
I'm working on that diet.
Yeah, me too, actually. Unfortunately, the pandemic has been horrific. But no, it's like, like do what you love. Do what you love. If that's great, if you could make a career out of it. But if you do what you love, you're going to hate what you love soon, or not. It's going to be a labor of love. I know guys that make millions of dollars playing hockey, and they freaking hate putting on the shin pads, right? They don't want to put on their skates. They've learned to, oh my gosh, I'm over it. So that's the problem. What's the solution? Fall in love with what you do. Fall in love with the marketing. Fall in love with your clients. Fall in love with the results. Fall in love with the new product. Fall in love with your new software. Fall in love with the new functionality of your new software, right? Like, that's the way to do it. So don't do what you love what you do, which sounds good, hard to do, but that's what they got to be doing.
Well, I know that you're in love with everything that you're doing, and we are in love with what comes out of that. So everybody, it's Karl BRYAN. You can find him everywhere. He's got so much more value to give, and focus.com is where you find him. Thank you so much, Karl, and stay tuned next week for more.